Big week this week. We got 11.1.7 going live, a few other things. Also, we're going to look at the statistics on how this expansion's doing so far compared to previous expansion seasons when it comes to Mythic Plus and everything else. We'll also talk a little bit about the D.I.S.C belt and what it means and how you're going to get it filled out this week. So here we go. Servers will be resetting this week, but you won't be playing that much WoW. That's right. We got about an 8-hour downtime for the War Within for you classic, or your retail Andes out there, I should say. Your classic Andes will still be able to play the game if you have a classic account. Maybe you could do that to pass the time, or you can actually get some work done, potentially touch some grass, whatever you want to do for that 8 hours, because yeah, servers will be down quite a while, assuming that servers come back up at the proper time. Now, actually, lately, Blizzard's been bringing servers back up quicker than usual, faster than they've been predicting. Hopefully, it comes back up on time and isn't, in fact, broken. We'll have to wait and see how all of that balances out here. Also, when this all goes live, what does that mean? Well, we're going to get the, new legacy quest for, what's it called? Legacy of Arathor. Going through those, the new storylines and everything else. Also, evidently, the game will die this week because the new one-button, single-button rotation and assistant rotation will be going live as well. People will be testing those out, seeing how all that's going. And again, the short story Faith and Flame also has gone live with the new book that's coming out, so you'll be able to get that, check it out, and get into a deeper dive into what the lore is currently taking us. Also going live this week, we got Turbulent Timeways BFA. That's right. So Battle for Azeroth, Time Walking Dungeons. The Time Busby mount is important because this one was previously part of the Masters of Turbulent Timeways achievement, which will now be granting us the Infinite Pirate Weaver mount, as people are calling it. The pirate, my captain is a pirate, or my captain is a dragon mount. You'll be able to get that this week, but if you previously hadn't gotten the Timely Busby mount, which was for the same achievement, you'll be able to purchase this week for 5,000 Time Warp badges. So if you don't, in fact, get the Big Boy Dragon this time around, you have 7 weeks to get it. You have to play the game 5 of the 7 weeks to be able to get this achievement done. If you don't get it, you'll probably be able to get it in another time walking event later on for 5,000 Time Warp badges, as you'll be able to currently get the Busby mount. So that's pretty good there. Sam dealing with a lot of seamen. Yeah, I guess so. I do want this dragon mount, I'm not going to lie. So getting into this, again, you'll be able to get some new time walking rewards. The event duration will be going from June 17th for 7 weeks, again, providing extra chances for in particular to earn time walking rewards. What's new? That Battle for Azeroth time walking for the first time, and the Pirate Dragon mount. That's right. Schedule will continue on for 7 weeks. You'll be able to get this thing. So time walking's fun. It's a good way to level up your alts and gear out your alts as well. So get in there and get that done. The D.I.S.C belt, you'll be wanting to get that this week as well. This is your best in slot belt item. It's been buffed quite a bit lately, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the buffs that happen and what it means for the ranking of all the things that you can now put on your belt. But Blizzard also buffed the belt in terms of item level. It'll now start at 691, was 684. They want to make sure that this thing is basically best in slot the second you get it. The way you're going to get it is getting started with the quest, right? You're going to do a quest line that'll take you and out through the new delves and stuff, the overcharged delves, and which will end with getting the time memory card. You'll end up getting this thing and get the belt, upgrading it all the way up to 701 eventually. Now, the belt will start with 2 powers in particular that are given to you. These are the powers. You'll end up selecting one that you'll use on your belt. First, you'll get to...
17 says OCE servers crashed over the weekend, then came back up and are broke across all now, then was back up this morning OCE time.
That's great. I didn't know that Oceanic servers went down. Maybe it's a prelude to how the rest of this week's going to go. Hopefully not. But as I was saying, the way you're going to get these powers after you get the first 2 is just by running more delves. There's actually a guide, or not a guide, but an in-game indication. If you hover over any of these powers, they will tell you which delves you can get these things from. It doesn't have anything to do with the delves being overpowered or overcharged, as they're calling it. You'll just be able to go run these delves, and hopefully you get the extra powers. Now, which powers do you want to get? Well, there's a specific ranking out there now. Since the buffs, things have changed quite a bit. So right now, if we're looking at the current single target damage, it looks like Charge Bolts is giving the most damage, about a 3% buff to your damage output. When with AoE, it's actually Critical Chain, giving you a, what is this, 0.9% buff. That's absolutely nothing. What the hell? Let's look at a Holy Frost Decay, 2.1% buff, I guess. Looking at Mythic Plus, 1.6% buff. And then, interesting. Okay, so not much across AoE for some of these, but some of them single target are doing quite well. It looks like when you look at something like Blood DK, though, AoE is up to 2.7% here, so much better when looking at certain classes, I guess. So if we're going to look at the little chart here, S tier right now, Charge Bolts is considered to be the S tier of all these powers for most people. Now, if we look specifically at something like Healer, it looks like it's Cauterizing Bolts or Spark Burst. And if we look specifically at Tank instead, it looks like Spark Burst is the one to tank. That one is the AoE one, I guess. So looking across the board, all of them included. DPS alone, they're all taking Charge Bolts. That's going to be the one to go for. But here's your tier chart. You'll be able to get all these powers if you want to. You can only activate one at a time. And it does activate outside of Delve. So this is going everywhere, doing all content. Blizzard left a little note here that they want the belt to be as powerful as possible for this season, make sure it's best in slot, but they don't want it to go beyond Season 3. That's right, by Endgame Season 3. They want it to be replaced by Season 3, so they don't want it going beyond this season, actually. So it'll be best in slot for a little while, and then you'll eventually replace it, getting all these powers and stuff. I guess it's something to do in the meantime. That's what kind of Blizzard wants you to do, is just have something to keep you busy for now. Now, moving on, how is this expansion doing? Do you feel like it's doing good? Do you feel like it's currently one of the better expansions out there? Maybe not. Well, the numbers are in. And right now, this expansion is doing quite decent, actually. Looking back at previous Mythic Plus seasons, so this chart right here actually runs as terms of the drop-off, right? So this is actually not comparing raw numbers, but how much people have dropped off since the start of the expansion, when it comes to Mythic Plus at least. And looking here, we can easily see this season of The War Within, Season 2, is currently beating all previous seasons in terms of having the smallest drop-off, except Dragonflight Season 1. I didn't realize Dragonflight Season 1 was this successful, but evidently Dragonflight Season 1 by this point had a 53.21% drop-off from the start of the expansion. Right now, The War Within Season 2 has about a 59.34 drop-off since the start of the season. So, not bad, just below a single season right now. I think overall participation's been pretty good. Hard to have a drop-off when nobody was playing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the numbers weren't that high to start, so it didn't drop off that hard. But again, looking overall, I mean, The War Within Season 2 has beaten every previous season through Dragonflight and The War Within so far. That's good. We've looked at the numbers before. Honestly, they look pretty good across the board. Everyone's been running a lot of keys, doing a lot of keys. Plus 10s have been completed at quite a high level lately. 71% of all dungeons this week were at a plus 10 or higher. This dominance has now solidified after a massive performance buff from the Turbo Boost event. Keys being run at a 27.5% at 10, and level 12 at 18.72%. Once again, establishing the double pattern of the go-to key levels. That's right, so the keys, the amount of keys being run at these two levels, that's what those percentages are. So I feel like the 3K IO has really boosted in terms of how many people are continuing to do Mythic Plus even after getting basically what is, your typical meta achievement at 2K IO. So that's pretty good. A lot of people have been doing that, and it's been keeping numbers up. The Turbo Boost event was a big boost to the expansion. I mean, you can see it right here. This season, that's the Turbo Boost event right there. Really did boost numbers and keep them pretty high. I think it did what it was supposed to do. But overall, I think things have kind of normalized. If you look at this line and where it would have been had the Turbo Boost event never happened, it's probably back to kind of where the normal numbers you would expect would be. Overall, the meta continues to be what it is. Retribution Paladin being the most played class in the game currently when it comes to Mythic Plus still, which is funny because they are not part of the meta, but just Ret Pallies are going to do Ret Pally things, and they're going to continue to play Ret Pallies. Vengeance Demon Hunter behind them, Discipline Priest, Restoration Shaman, Arcane Mage, Marksmanship Hunter, Balanced Druid, Unholy DK, and then we got Prot Pallies also down here. So this is the how much people are playing these classes, right? But besides that, we see the most run keys here. Plus 22s now being run for the first time this season. And we see really that this is setting up to be the meta specs here. Across the board, if we look at it, what is the meta? It continues to be Arcane Mage. We got, what's it called? Balanced Druid, Unholy DK, Disciplined Priest, Vengeance Demon Hunter. That's right. That's kind of been the meta this entire season and has continued to, power up and be that way. The only thing happening here is a slight switch up. What is Unholy DK being replaced by Retribution Paladin in some of these runs? at a decent clip. Now, if we look lower below that, it just starts to get all mixed up. The things that remain consistent really is Vengeance Demon Hunter continuing to be the tank, the go-to tank for Mythic Plus, and Discipline Priest being the go-to healer. Those two seem to be the most consistent. We see a little bit of mix-up from the rest of these. Probably the most consistent DPS that we're seeing right now is Balanced Druid and maybe Unholy DK. Everyone else is getting switched around for Retribution Paladins and others here. So overall, the meta is kind of looking like it's been the whole season. Not much change there. But a healthy season so far. Healthy Mythic Plus, which usually means a healthy expansion. I think the War Within has overall been pretty healthy in terms of numbers. It's been feeling like people are still playing the game for sure. Yeah, not meta for sure, Sam. Fucking idiot. What is... Because you play Ret Paladin, you're getting angry at me? No, it's not part of the meta. But it is second place. I'll give him second place, that's for sure. And that is all in terms of news.